Hello everyone, and welcome to another Immortal Invitational match. Today we are watching Snuffalufagus playing as the Hunters versus Spencer Wolfhart as Dracula. Sadly I'm on my own tonight, uh, but and as I've not yet learned to do any who choose to watch this live, I will likely not see any comments. Sadly. But in any event, it's from what I know of both players, both are definitely reasonably. Snuffleupagus is definitely a strong player, and also puts in the time in to be one of the admins of the tournament. So he's definitely devoted to the game. Spencer Wolfhart is a Dracula player who is less social, uh, and less active in the community. It's not. It tends to be not all that often that he's about, uh, but he is a very skilled Dracula player. So I'm say that he's good as even Wakajic, which is, for those who do not know, Wakajic has a reputation of being being the best Dracula player of the community. So I think that Spencer can at least equal him in skill in that sense. So we have Snuffalufagus choosing the what was traditional Scott Sword setup, barring the fact that he chose to put Van Helsing up at Manchester. Yeah. This, of course, means that that it'll be a bit slower when Van Helsing gets to mainland, but Snuff told me that he did it like to prevent an England start. But the thing is, this actually won't prevent an England start, because really there's no difference as to the amount of space Dracula will have to operate. He'll still be able to operate between 4 cities. In fact, it might actually be even safer. It might actually be safer to to do an England start, since all of the cities that he can go to are ports, so he can leave anytime. He doesn't have to chance the ever now and then CG nuke location of Manchester. So I would say that an England start is. I didn't tell Snuff this when we were chatting beforehand, but I think that would actually make England more attractive than being in London does. But yeah, Spencer likes to make a long plan before choosing his a long-term plan before choosing his starting location. Rufus Smith. I would have gone with a search. This early, especially as that being your very first draw. Oh, and there you go. We're getting punished right away. You could draw Aggie. You could get surprising return. Punished. Punished for keeping Rufus as an ally. He missed out on a search. Planned ambush and garlic. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, Snuff's right there. It's not often that you get that, but it gets 1-2 like that. But I mean, if Jack was planning to do an early fight, he may want to change his mind with Sister Act then play. So Spencer is the type that tends to go for a lair stratagem. So we will likely see him not do the traditional misdirect starting location thing that most people do. Hired scouts. Man, he could have now searched 4 separate locations. I mean, mind you, there wasn't and still isn't much to search. And Agatha, I agree, it's okay to take her as an ally, but not in Marseille. Okay, yeah. Spencer does tend to favor something of a central start, like I do. I mean, since Spencer isn't around all that often, I don't know him as well as I know most, but as well as I know most of the other players of the community. But the last uh, time I watched one of Spencer's match was when I live streamed, or was it a live stream or just a recording? Well, regardless, when I recorded a match uh between him and my partner Randiv, and it was quite a spectacle. Spencer showed some masterful Dracula play, and it took Randiv a lot a lot of the best Dracula events, a lot of the best Hunter events to catch him. It's He did win in the end, Spencer, but it was a close thing. But it was a close thing. Rifle and holy bullets, and the first one was a garlic, okay. Let's see. Yeah, there isn't all that much to say during the week 1 supply train. But I suppose we can talk a bit about the standings in the tournament. Up top, we currently have El Gringas Dal, or the Garlic Farmers, Oscar and Geo. Second place is actually Spencer's team, Dirty Stone Cheap. Or no, Pirate Wizard. My apologies. And then Spencer's team, Spencer and Ariel with third, and that only by IDS, my Spencer's team Dirty's on Cheap, and my team Cheap Wildlife. With an idea with IDS score superiority on their side. Yes. So, and then fifth Transylvanians, Snuff's team, and at the bottom currently High Lords of Low Water, Wakajik and Sir Backstab. But in any event, this is going to be so. We'll have to see how this goes. Yep. However, so they didn't get the perfect time newspaper to find either the starting location or the uh, what turns out to be a vampire, or at least so Spencer claims. Although with Rimodaga number 1 in week 1, it almost certainly means that yes, this is a vampire, almost always. But this dawn is when an early newspaper could now make Drax's trail show itself. So, no early newspaper. However, wait, daytime trade? What's going on here? That's interesting. Did Seward perhaps find hypnosis or something? That's interesting. Van Helsing training with Seward during the day. Intriguing. How's the discard looking? Okay. Nothing all that special. Although 2 rifles gone, and Mina showing a 3rd one. Very interesting. The fact that he's doing Psychic Bond each night seems to say that Mina at least has her tickets in order. wolf form. Okay. I mean, that's not all that unusual. Hmm. This is... Okay, so that's the last of the holy bullets. And there goes the other holy circle. So now we have enough in the discard to... And that's all the garlic. As Snuff is definitely not a garlic farmer. 2 of the 3... Goodness. Yeah, and discarding yet another rifle. And, what was that? Whatever it was, it didn't show anything. Oh, that was simply her drawing her event. I get it. Okay, yeah. Is Mia... So that was Mia who discarded the rifle. Well... It looks as if that first thing was going to get to mature. Which is a shame, but... Oh well. Showing a knife and not showing a horse. That is interesting for Mina. That would imply that we have some buried horses. To me. Oh, he returned to his original starting location. So that's interesting. Without a misdirect, this can't be an England start. You can't pull that off without an England start. Without misdirect in England. Wonder what it's waiting for Snuff for. Oh, I see. Oh, Jonathan Harker. That would have been nice earlier. Though, will he actually take it? And there goes the last rifle. So that's almost all of the firearms out the window. Will he actually take it over Aggie? I mean, if he's found a surprising return in the meantime, I would say yes. You need information. Strasbourg, okay. Something tells me that this is an Eastern start. And also, I think that Sensor may choose to layer this rumor token and just continue making super layer after super layer. I mean, possibly. We'll see. Goodness. That's now all 4 rifles and 3 out of 4 pistols. There's only 1 firearm left. Mind you, they are going to cycle through the entire deck soon. Okay. Whoops. Van Helsing training some to Mina. Hypnosis? I mean, at this early stage it could mean anything, really. Okay. He chose a lair, yep. And he's likely going to go there this very instant. Yep. I will say that he has been severely unlucky. Oh goodness, a knife and a crucifix. We need some information here. Oh? Newspaper? No. This one is just discarding events. This is very unfortunate for Snuffalufagus. Evil presence. Okay, the very first bit of information we've gotten since one hired scouts. This is definitely not off to a good start for the hunters. Yeah, there's 11 drag events in there. So if there's a hoax somewhere along here, that's probably gonna be the one spot Dracula matures. Because he has only a little below half the Drac events available to him to choose from. Mind you that those 11 could be 2s and 3s of the junkier ones. Hmm. But on the other hand, when you do get a lucky find she's showing, huh? When you get like completely no information like this, oh no, I was afraid of that. This is very, very bad for the hunters. Cause now, goodness gracious. This is just mean. uh, hmm. Evidently has very interesting options as to what to take with this hoax. Several tempting things, not one outlier. Okay, he made his decision on it. This is... If it weren't for the evil presence drawn, I would say that he's simply playing Ring Around the Sword. I'd guess what Snuff is doing is he's gonna start doing the strat operation of taking me into different regions so that she can scan and try to pick up a bit of of something there. Newspaper, finally. Constanta. The Far East. And now Goldong just marched away. Had he waited one more day, he would have found the trail. A very rough start for Snuff. However, when one has these like no information starts the you do tend to have a you do tend to get a very large amount of really good hunter stuff like renewed vigors, great strength, uh yep. I mean, most of that movement worked to his favor. The only one that didn't was Gul'daming's move. Yeah, so he's just been going in an infinite loop at present. Okay. So, Gul'daming and Seward both have horses. Excellent weather. Now that's nice. Yeah, that covers quite a significant distance. Yeah, like I said, when you don't get information, you tend to get a lot of... You do tend to get a lot of mobility and combat-related events. Goodness. It will take a lot of work to defuse all of this. This is... Hey. I know that we have the trail. You can try to address this, but look at all this. This place has an encounter. This place is 2, this place is 2, this place 1, this place is 3. There are several places here with 3, half of the trail has... Whoa! Okay, so there's bound to be a fog here. Right? So how would he have to do this? Done. Hmm. Hmm. And, so it seems like he's been doing this. He's... Spencer wants to know if there's forewarned. Sense of emergency, speed, telegraph, and chartered carriage. That's some good stuff. Wolves. Okay, well, he already showed him his hand, so... New vampire. Okay. Throwing off the typical mesmerize the escape by dodging round one. This means that the vampire will likely mesmerize again. It can. And Snuff was trying to catch just that. The fact that Gul'daming is holding one sense of emergency makes this unlikely. But if Mina is holding the second one, she can get down here and join the fight. Yeah. Goodness. Yeah, very rough. Okay. So Van Helsing is the third horse. Samia doesn't even have a horse. So that means that things are looking rather bleak for Gul'daming. Oh, but she does have the second sense of emergency. What do you know? So it may, and since she has a lucky find, and because she doesn't have a horse, and she's holding a lucky find, this may not be such a one-sided fight after all. Is Mina's third event an escape route? Yes, it is. Gul'daming was unlucky, but Mina was quite the opposite. She had just the right sort of stuff. Okay, Mina Harker using Lucky Find, so as to prepare herself for the combat as best possible. Okay. Mina discarding a stake. So we have Sister Agatha around. So fangs are not as attractive, but heavenly hosts are definitely a real threat. He knows that Gul'dami has a knife and a heavenly host for combat. He knows that Mina has a knife. And probably something else, since she chose to discard. But the thing is, he knows Mina has no horse, so she could be holding on to 3. So she, especially after discarding that stake, most likely is holding on to 3 weapons. Claws and knife. Yeah, doing claws because he knows, thanks to the spy, that he knows that Gul'dami doesn't have any sort of firearm. However, that's not enough for him to need great strength yet, or die yet. Yeah, he's gonna take quite the return. Hunters are gonna return fire rather vigorously. Now imagine if Dracula makes the mistake of trying to do a mesmerize next, and they both do heavenly host. Imagine that. Just imagine that. That would be a week 2 kill with 0 influence. That'd be very good for Snuffalufagus, but honestly, I really doubt that will happen. Okay, targeting Mina with a mesmerize. Oh, now this is interesting. Well, Gul'dami did indeed dodge. So that pays off for Dracula. He will now target Gul'dami with claws, no doubt. Well, if he has the second claws, that is. I think that what Gul'dami should do is escape, because I think that's after claws, the next most likely. Yeah, the next most likely thing was. Oh, but he has great. He has great strength, but he knows Gul'dami is dead anyway. So he chooses not to use it. However, Dracula is now alert to the presence of the great strength. So Gul'dami has died, but Dracula has already taken 8 damage out of this combat, and it's down to 6. 1 more damage, and if someone is holding on to heroic leap and catches up with him, uh-oh, there goes Dracula. Fangs, dodge, nice, nicely done. And the problem for Dracula is that since Sister Agatha is up, if he chooses to try to escape, that's when I would have done the Heavenly Host. He just used the Fang, and there goes Mina's knife. Fortunately he knows Dracula is out of claws, so she won't get killed. Heavenly Host? Nope. A rifle. Yeah, I would have just dodged for that final round. You've done your damage. Wow. That went rough. Hmm. Now, what would be extremely rough? Now, what would be extremely rough for the hunters is if the Dracula event that he has is Darkness Returns, because that would skip dawn. That would skip over dawn and go immediately to dusk, which means that a 1 health Mina would be plunged right back into another night fight. Even with great strength to help, it is going to be extremely hard to get out of that alive. But then again, at the same time, Dracula does need to be very aware that he took quite a beating. He took quite a good hunk of health of damage from that. I hope for his sake that he has a desecrated soil somewhere coming up. But I would be very tempted to okay, maturing stuff. Doubtless going to use it on Mina. Oh, Seward revealing that he has no weapons. Renewed vigor, forewarned, planned ambush, long night. Yeah, he's battle ready and equipped with some really good stuff, but fortunately, as I recall, Goldaming had a sense of emergency, speed telegraph, and one other thing that didn't really matter, so nothing vital lost there. Unearthly swiftness. One of the most powerful Drac events of all. Yeah, he's using the unearthly swiftness to give himself time to feed. Maturing the fog to keep Mina contained. Uh-oh. Not sure where those wolves are. But are they? Dark Call. Yep, he's finishing the job. Mia does still have one item card. I don't know what it is, but mesmerize, dodge. fangs, a punch. Snuff is considering whether to save the Great Strength for another time. I don't know. He chose to go for it. However, Sister Agatha makes it that he not only doesn't get healing, but takes a bit more a point of damage. It's possible that that last one is a stake. Claws, dodge. This way, if you hope to escape alive. Okay. Nope, Great Strength didn't pay off. Yeah, this is looking very bleak for the hunters. In fact, unless Seward or Van Helsing can get to... And he probably did that in light of the fact that he saw that Mina was holding on to... Well, no, it was Seward who was holding on... Seward is holding a renewed vigor. So... He needs to play it simply to... simply to stop that, because if that's a reckless vampire or an aristocratic vampire, it's just game over. It wouldn't be the worst ideas, but... At present, Snuff is just hoping that that is a new vampire. That is nothing but a new vampire. But with 3 encounters there, I find that unlikely. I think that it's already game. Yeah, it all depends on whether or not there's some other vampire that it all that comes down to right now. It comes down to, is this a new vampire or not? Is there a 4-point vampire? Yep, GG. Apparently there's an aristocratic or reckless there. So therefore... well, a very clean, a very quick victory by Spencer Wolfhart. Not the cleanest, since he did take quite a bit of damage in the tussle in that 2-on-1, but nonetheless, very good. Snuff said that he'd be willing to chat a bit. And I'm sure he feels a little salty after an experience like that, and I definitely won't be able to blame him. Ow. But thanks for watching, folks. Uh, I suppose I'll see. Let's see what Snuff has to say. And, yeah, let's see what Snuff has to say. This will take just a moment, folks.
Hey, thanks.
Hey, Snuff. Good try.
How are you, buddy? Another glorious loss. 0-8, Jesus.
0-7. This is only week 7, Snuff.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Is it? Oh, 0-7. There we go. Thank you.
Not quite.
Protecting my my minimal honor here, Fangsy.
But in any event, well, I mentioned before the match that you can't be ashamed to lose to Spencer, or as he is a Master Dracula player, but I wasn't expecting a zero information thing like that.
Yeah, there's not really that much I can do against that. I did have Harker, and I could have surprisingly returned Harker and got rid of Agatha. But I was like, there's no way. He's got a rumor token. He's going to mature it probably, right?
I think that...
Like...
How quickly did you find that surprising return? Can you recall?
I found it after drawing Rufus and Agatha, but before drawing Harker. So okay. I could have made Harker my ally, and I thought about making Harker my ally, and then
yes, I think
using surprising return to get Agatha back. But I was thinking like, okay, well, I may need that surprising return later, and if I do that, right, if he matures the vamp that has a rumor or the vamp with the rumor token that's there right now, then Harker's going to be useless for the next 3 turns. So, and I will have given up Agatha and made myself waste surprising return to get Agatha back later for a Harker that will probably be useless. And then I did draw newspaper reports a couple of turns after that, so like, I mean,
yes,
or maybe not
I agree with that decision. The decision I don't agree with was allying both the allies right away.
That's something that reasonable minds can disagree over, but it's not going to make that big a difference on the game, because I would have had one guess at a single space of the on the board. So I probably wouldn't have guessed it anyway. In fact, I definitely wouldn't have guessed it anyway, because I know Spencer Wolfhard tends to start in Western Europe, and he didn't this time. So I probably would have guessed somewhere in Western or Central Europe. So honestly, it would have been moot. So like,
true.
But I do fully understand that when you don't have surprising return drawn yet, and you draw an early ally, I know that reasonable minds in the Fury Dracula community can disagree over whether you use it for the surge or you take the ally, because it's so speculative at that early stage what you're going to draw.
Honestly, in the case of Rufus specifically, before you've gotten Dracula's Trail, I think it's strictly better to search. Agatha is good enough but Rufus, I mean, he's never gonna go to sea until you force him to, and you won't be able to force him to until you know where he is, unless we're talking about an Ireland start. But so therefore, I think Rufus in particular, it's just strictly better.
Yeah, if you say so. I don't feel too strongly about that. You might be right. You might be wrong. That's okay.
Yeah.
What else are you thinking about?
I mean, I think that honestly, there's really not much to say, as this was, you voiced pretty much everything in the chat, like how you Goldami moved and such, before, on the day you uncovered it. Like, had he, Seward and Helsing, that didn't matter. Glomming, it did. One thing. Did you think that he would be at Bologna? Why didn't you why did you go to a spot like Sofia? where he was bound to have been there, but at some
So
point.
so I didn't know exactly where he went, but I knew he was in Central Europe or Eastern Europe making layers. So I was hoping that I was going to go to Valona before he would go there, um, and so like kind of cut off that avenue of escape and kind of surround him. But he just so happened to already be at Valona, um,
Yeah.
so uh, and I figured a full health, well armed Godalming, you know, it'd be all right. And then I know where he is. Um, I did not think that he was at Valona, but I guess I should have been a bit more attuned to possibility. But it's so hard there when I had no information other than that Constanta's on the trail and everything around Constanta is double, layered up, 2 to 3 things.
Yeah.
So
Really,
there's not really a good way to deal with that.
yeah, honestly, I would have started at Sophia because when he was at Sophia, because he almost certainly was not going to be at Sophia. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying I blame you for doing it the way you did it. As I mean, let's face it, let's just face the truth in the sense that when you do get like zero info starts like that, there's really nothing you can do.
Especially
I
against the layer strat. No
Yeah,
info is, I think, especially harmful against someone like Spencer who does the layer strat, because if it was a info run against someone who doesn't do that, and I just take the 7 influence hit off the bat and the trail is cleared, it's not as big of a problem. It's a much bigger problem when you have someone like Spencer who does the layer strat,
yeah,
um, and you let him build that up without any way of addressing it.
yep.
But let me say one more thing about Sophia before we get off the topic. I did not want to go there because my thinking was, if I'm Spencer and I have plenty of opportunities to build up that layer, the one thing I always want in Sophia is a bats. And I was very concerned that I would get hit with the bats. I didn't have any way to deal with that, and he would I would not only take damage from like multiple cards, but also be moved to some place else. So I don't know if he put bats there. That was
That's actually a
my
good point. I
guess,
had not thought of
and
that.
I could have made things worse. So that's why I was trying to go around the edge and hope. I was trying to like find him in one of the edge spaces and then use renewed vigor and speedy telegraph to get multiple hunters on him, like while I'm skirting the edge, um, and hopefully find a way to nail him in that way. And hopefully he'll feel the tendency to like either like have to jump on me or go someplace not so great, um, or feel the tendency to mature something, uh, and I can do it that way. I was trying to be very like delicate about it, so that's why I didn't want to go to Sophia. So I thought Valona would
Yeah.
be better, but
Well, in any
other than
event,
that, I mean, I think it was just that I could have been a bit more attuned to how I played the combat. I mean, he did get the better of me in the combats, I think, for the most part. Um, I guess
uh,
I guess I should have gripped it and ripped it with the Heavenly Host, at some point with Godalming since I had it.
I
He
would
was
say
probably
not
gonna
so
die
much
at some
with.
point.
I would say not as much with Goldaming as with Mina, since you had the great strength. So even if he did do the Fang, you can still save her. Uh, and therefore it having like zero of effect in that in the case of Mina, since she's already bitten. Uh, well then again, I suppose you didn't have one with her. Hmm. Did
Great
you?
strength.
No, Heavenly Host.
No, I did
Uh,
not have a Heavenly Host with Mina. Mina had a horse, a knife, and a gun. I'm sorry, no, she didn't have a horse. She had a stake, a knife, and a gun. And I drew the gun with Lucky Find. Um, I yeah, I could have picked. I don't think there's anything else that was good that I could have picked. I could have picked like
what wasn't
just
there a? Why didn't you? And what did you have on her before the Lucky Find?
2 stakes actually.
Oh, I
Um,
thought that was the case, but uh, I think that in that case you actually should have just roughed it out and not sent her in that case if she was that's like sparsely armed. Uh,
no, so I thought about that too. So Godalming at that point had.
I mean,
So Godalming at that point was armed. He could have. Of course, Dracula knew everything he had. He, um, yeah, he could have probably.
honestly, never mind. You were probably right to send me because you did gain quite a bit of damage and got him down to 6 as a result.
Yeah, and with a little bit better combat play, I might have done better than that. Obviously, when he mesmerized me, I could have played Heavenly Host then and just risked it, and then he'd be at 2. That actually could have been winnable.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's hard to. You're not going to guess everything right combat wise. But I was like, okay, so let's play out the alternative scenario, right? I don't send Mina in. I
I
I
actually take back that you shouldn't. I think that you did the right thing there. When I think about it,
um
in any event, we should probably wrap this up as this is still being recorded by the live stream. In case I
oh
suppose.
well, I thought that was kind of the point. No.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but at the
It's
same
fine.
time,
I'm happy to wrap up. That was a good one. It's late here anyway.
yeah.
It's time. So
I mean, you definitely gave a very noble effort for such a dreadful start. Uh, yeah, there's definitely no shame in losing that particular sort of thing. I, to be sure. Uh, I'm. What?
yeah,
What
that
else
just
can
kind
I
of is
say?
what it is, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, it's one.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are games where you just gotta accept that it is what it is.
Yeah.
You're like destined to lose that one.
And it's too bad because at first I was like, okay, I'm doing good. It's taking me a while to find horses, but at least I got my horse economy set. I drew the white ones pretty quick. I drew the renewed vigor. It's a long process as you do it. You're feeling really good about it.
Yeah, I think that with most opponents you would have been fine because they would have revealed their presence in the East by maturing that vampire in week 1, and thereby giving them away, and then you would have been off
Yeah.
after them. Yeah, most opponents,
Yeah,
I
for
think you
sure.
would have been just fine. But,
Yeah, the Lairstro is particularly well suited to a situation when you do not discover Dracula's location
yeah.
for a long period of time. So,
Well, in any event, uh, thanks for chatting stuff. I'm sure that whatever audience watches this in future will like it, and with that, I'll say thanks for watching, everyone, and
yep. Thanks.